Today is Wednesday, May 16th, 2018. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor Ghost Island, Week 12, Episode 13.
Hoorah! This one's called Always Be Moving. That was spoken by Dominic. It was just almost like an aside. If you weren't paying attention, you'd completely miss it. It's because he says it during the reward challenge.
Well, that's what it made me think of, because I saw the picture of it and I thought, well, they'd have to keep moving with that, and it was just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of bizarre that they named the title that. But
they went, I guess they took the easy way out, is what I would say with that one.
I guess so.
Yeah. I don't think they were going for any deeper meanings. They were just lifting it right out.
Okay.
All right.
I can live with it.
I think they've been coasting on some of the titles this season anyway. Previously on Survivor, Kellen's facing tribal council, and she wants to strike. She's worried that this will be her and her allies' only plan, but Wendell and Dominic, well, they got another plan. And guess who Donathan and Laurel go with? They stick with their good buddy Wendell. That also includes Dominic. All right, well, you get predictable results there.
Night 32, coming back from tribal council. Kellen's open to talking to people, but she's just going to see who comes to her. She tells us she has been trusting her gut. But she's going to see what she can stir up tomorrow.
Yeah, it was time to get the Kellen's gut origin story one more time here. Sebastian tries to give her comfort and says, No, I don't think you're next. Do you think he really thought that? Was he being sincere, or was he just trying to...
Of course not.
...make her feel a little better? You think he's that clued in?
Yeah, I do.
All right, well, let's see what she manages to stir up the next day. Day 33.
Well, you have Donathan and Laurel talking, and Laurel tells us that she still doesn't trust Angela or Kellen, but she still knows she can't beat Dominic Wendell either, so she's kind of between a rock and a hard place.
Well, she's exactly where she was in the previous cycle.
And she's
made no progress.
She keeps saying she's got to do this or she's going to do that, and she's ready to, and then she just won't do it. She won't pull the trigger.
7 left. This is my last chance. But then they're 2 of my best friends. What does that have to do with winning Survivor?
That's true.
They left you in the game. That's on them. That's not on you.
I almost think that she's like, well, if I can't win, I really would rather one of them win. It's almost where I feel like she is right now. I really like them. They have been good to me. And so if I can't win, I kind of want them to win.
This isn't uncommon. We've absolutely seen this before. Remember Chelsea with Kim in One World?
Not specifically.
But she basically did exactly that
I
at
remember
the end.
Chelsea, but yeah, she did, didn't she?
We thought, she's got a chance. She could win. And then she completely flipped it
Kim.
on us. Yeah, and she was just there to help Kim win.
Okay, yeah, I do kind of remember that now.
And there's been other people too who've championed, but this one seems she's definitely trending in that direction. And boy, is she a disappointment to me. I can't recall being this disappointed in someone since Cochran in his first season. That's how I feel about her right now. I mean, Laurel. I didn't think of her as having the same potential I thought he had, but I certainly expected more of her, and the only thing she delivers right now is disappointment, and it's like one after the other.
I still like her, but I guess I'm not that invested.
Yeah.
It's like...
That's fair.
I still think she's played a good game, just not a great game.
Nope, not even a good one. I'm going to go... disagreeing
she's got
with you
herself...
there.
She's on a losing tribe, and she's in the final 6. So I can't say she hasn't played a good game.
She hasn't played... My point is she hadn't played a good game in a long time. Earlier, she had played a good game, and she did good to survive. But
I'm with you in being disappointed that she can't seem to pull the trigger and hold on to her determination to make the big moves that might sway someone.
we are not the only ones that are frustrated by Laurel. It's getting to Donathan, too.
Yep.
He really hates not trying.
He's like, those guys are running the whole game.
I like how he summed it up. The middle ain't the end, and I got to the middle. He's telling us in his confessional here that he realizes he may have to play by himself.
Yeah, he's been with Laurel since day one, but he may have to make some moves without her.
I think that's what this episode is all about.
I think so.
Helping us see how much of an impact Laurel had by reining Donathan in.
Yeah, because without Laurel, he just seems to have he just floundered.
He's ready to strike out on his own, though, so he approaches Kellen. He said, I think we can do this. We can get a 4-3 against Dominic and Wendell. But, Kellen, you can't blurt it out. And this is me. I think it wasn't just him, right? It was him and Laurel extending the olive branch. Of course, Kellen doesn't know what to think about this because she asked him to do this exact thing in the previous tribal council.
We weren't ready then.
Yeah, just 2 days ago. Yeah.
Well, and you and I differ in that I don't blame them for that because at the end there would have been 2 Malolo, 3 Navidi. But now there would be Angela and Kellen, Laurel, and Donathan. So I think it's a more even playing field if they could get to the Final Four that way.
I believe it was actually the recency bias that had more control of that decision, which was Kellen throwing double votes at Laurel to no effect,
too.
Other than to squash Kellen's ability to enlist Laurel's help in that previous tribal council. Yeah, Kellen, or at least the editors, left that out.
Well, he at least threw a little hope Kellen's way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, reward challenge on day 33.
Definitely a very physical challenge on day 33.
Yeah.
With all a very aerobically physical challenge.
3 teams of 2.
Mm-hmm.
Put the spools on the track and let them drop.
Yeah, a 3-stage track. Yep.
And first one that drops one loses.
Okay, so 3 teams of 2. They're going to pick 3 captains. The captain will pick their cohort, and then one person gets left out, and that ends up being Angela.
Poor Angela.
And this is one of the cool rewards. It maybe even peaked back in Africa, right? And in that season where they take things to the local kids or to a local school. So it's a good one to win and being able to get that experience, and it's a good one obviously for getting some chicken and chocolate cake. That's got to motivate you.
It certainly worked well for Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we had Sebastian and Kellen together.
Kellen chose Sebastian. Kellen was a captain.
And Dominic and Wendell.
Wendell chose Dominic.
And Donathan chose Laurel.
Yeah.
Over Angela, I guess.
Yep.
Or maybe
Poor
before
Angela's
that.
out.
We don't know. But Angela has no chance for the reward and no chance for Ghost Island either.
Yep. Okay, they start out by dropping 2 spools. This is relatively straightforward. You basically want to take the track, right? Your strategy is going to be, even though there's 3 stages, kind of like a Z, right, that the spool drops down across.
You got to space them.
Yeah, you want to sort of divide it in half, and then divide it into thirds and then fourths, and eventually they top out at fifths. So you got to kind of have that in mind. I don't think everybody was approaching it that way.
No, but by the time they got to the 5th one, you knew this isn't going to last long.
Yeah.
It's going to be relatively short.
Yeah, and we got a couple spools moving, and that's when we got the title from Dominic as he rushed by Wendell at one point and said, "Always be moving," which wasn't actually good advice at that point. There were times where they needed to pause to time the spools actively, but in any case, that's where the title came from. Okay, so it ends up being Sebastian who drops the first one after they get to 5 spools, and then Laurel drops one for the Laurel-Donathan team. So Dominic and Wendell win, and they get to choose one person to go with them, and Probst tells the other castaways that now's the time to make your case, at which point Wendell interrupts and says, "No, we've made our choice." Yeah, so we don't really need to hear from them. Yeah, nice.
I don't blame Donathan for being upset about that at all.
They chose Laurel to join them, and then Probst tells them they need to pick someone to go to Ghost Island, and
Now there's where the problem was.
Clear, easy decision. They pick Sebastian the pirate, they tell us. And Sebastian's off. Yeah, at which point Donathan is not happy.
No, at that point, my mind said, whoa, when did Sebastian replace Donathan? For sure.
Well, that's on us.
That's what it looked like to me.
That's on us, assuming that he was ever ahead of him, and I don't think that was necessarily the case.
Well, they've pushed that all along, saying, oh, no, we're with Donathan and Laurel, Donathan and Laurel, Donathan and Laurel.
That doesn't say what the order is, though, and that's not saying who everyone is.
No, it doesn't give the order, but it says Final Four.
We're with these two.
Now, this didn't say Final Four to me. It did, too. I disagree with you.
Okay.
Them saying Final Four over and over and over again does.
But they haven't always said that. They definitely
Four.
said they were allied.
Okay. Well, we will agree to disagree.
Yes.
Okay.
Donathan realizes he's not in the four, but he tells us he's not someone to mess with.
I don't know about that, Donathan.
Okay, on to Ghost Island there on day 33. Sebastian lands, and he had something interesting to say for a change. Like we didn't get the baked speech pattern from him. We got a lucid, clear, well thought out dialogue from him. Well, I like.
I think I'm a pufferfish.
No, he didn't say that.
He called it by its name, but
pufferfish and remora are not even remotely close to each other, baby. It's a remora. He was talking about sucker. Maybe you transposed suckerfish onto pufferfish.
Oh, maybe suckerfish. Yeah. Okay.
He's talking about the remora that attach themselves.
Right. You're right there. I absolutely did that. Well,
but let's get back to talking about Sebastian. He had a lucid moment that seems relevant. It's like, oh wow, he actually is in the game, and I loved his analogy. And so he's saying, I'm not gonna be the remora. The remora's gonna take over. And
he's gonna turn into a shark now.
Yeah,
I got that one right.
So the chances are even better. He decides to play and risk losing his vote. And now it's 3 out of the 4 that he chooses have something in them. So only one is a lose your vote.
They really keep revving that up.
Yeah, so from 50% up to 75% chance that you'll get something. The other thing that struck me when he went to go break the urn, other than it sounded like him referring to it as a yearn instead of
the yearn,
the urn, but I don't know. That was. I got so stuck by hearing him say,
did he say yearn?
The yearn, that I wasn't paying close attention at first. But there are still lots of urns.
Yeah, we counted at least 5.
Yeah, that are there.
And they said they were only going out there one more time. So, okay.
Well, and he chooses wisely to go to Indiana Jones quote there. He chose wisely, and he ended up with a key. And what's he going to get? I'm anticipating we're going to see something. Maybe even it'll be more than just an advantage. Thinking maybe it'll be an actual idol, and that'll make things more complicated and interesting. But no, it's still just an advantage. Why did I get my hopes up? Not only that,
you don't get
it's
idols.
A recycled advantage. Well, they could do anything, and I'm hoping that there was something exciting that was going to redeem this concept. But no, actually, there's nothing. Even though it is something, it's just a recycled version of Kellen's advantage.
That's a pipe dream. Yeah, well, actually, I don't mind that so much. I don't care about the other history to it, but as much as, okay, it's about someone in this season who did not break the curse, and they're going to give it another chance that, so that he could say, ha, you didn't break it, Kellen, but I did. So
if there's someone listening in production and you thought this was clever, I'm here to tell you that this just looked lazy. That's my take on it. And I was very disappointed in it. Not only have you failed with the concept, you failed in the execution by recycling one we've already seen, which has always been kind of a lame duck advantage anyway. Maybe it'll turn into something significant. The potential's there, but there's very low kinetic potential here.
Okay, but he does end up with an extra vote.
Yep.
Which could be advantageous.
Possibly. We'll see. Certainly Sarah has used it to effect. But, okay.
Moving along.
On to the reward. The ambassadors land with lots of gifts.
School supplies, sports equipment, and all kinds of fun things. They get to play around with the kids for a while, which I'm sure is nice to see any other people in the world but the ones they've spent the last 35 days with.
Crew and the castaways. And, and it's people they can talk to and kids that they can goof off with.
Yeah, and just
so we
kind
see
of be free
a
for
little
minute.
bit of that, but this has got to be one of the weakest ambassador ones that we've had. You know,
I don't know that those are ever that strong.
Well, I flash back to
remember
Wu's
one.
karate demonstration.
Oh, yeah, that was
Remember how
cool.
exciting that was for Kagayan? And
Well, didn't you see Wendell
Was it
twirling the
Kagayan?
basketball on his finger?
kind of. He kept blowing it. But yeah,
Okay.
every time he tried to spin it, he almost knocked it off his finger. But I appreciated the attempt. And then there's a brief discussion, and it looks like one of the locals thinks Dominic's going to win. Now, I did like Laurel's confessional here, although I didn't fully understand it.
Well, what?
I just liked it because it rhymed.
Well,
Split votes and cut throats.
Yeah,
that
but
part I
before
liked.
that, Wendell was talking to Dominic about we needed to bring Laurel just to shore up her confidence so that she'll go to the end with us.
Yes.
So I'm thinking,
She's the perfect
so,
goat at this point.
Yeah, they're feeling a little, I think, that they need to continue to court her to keep her in their corner.
Wendell's told us that all along. That he keeps having to reel her back, because
She has too many questions. But that's Laurel. She always has. She's questioned everything, and they've dealt with it. So I don't really think that's a new thing. But I did like
definitely
when
not
Laurel
new.
said, hey, I'm here to cut their throats. It's just she says the right things, but she can't follow through.
Where's the ammo? Are you shooting blanks, Laurel? You're definitely shooting blanks. You showed up with a butter knife. Or you got a spoon in your hand and somehow you're convinced yourself it's a knife. I don't know. It's just very disappointing.
Stacey disappointed.
I like split votes and cut throats, though. I'll give you points for that one. That was good.
Okay.
Not that it makes any sense, but it does rhyme, and I like that part. Bounce to the next day. We're back at camp, day 34.
Okay. And Wendell's trying to
Shore up Donathan.
pull Donathan back in.
Shore him up. Yep.
You know we're solid, right?
100%, buddy. 100%.
Yeah. But Donathan, I don't even know. I'm still confused.
Yeah, we've been different on things all through this episode, haven't
I
we?
still don't know what's happening. Why did he do that? What was the advantage to kind of blowing that all up? And
He told us last episode, this is his way to shine. I'm gonna drop truth bombs, and this time I'm gonna use them to pit Dominic and Wendell against each other. This was his master plan.
Do that.
Well, there's a difference between here's my plan and here's what a good plan is.
Here's how to execute it.
Here's my spastic, erratic, not well thought out
He
plan.
didn't pit them at all, except against him.
He actually did the opposite. Yes, he unified them. Yes, they grew stronger through
He
his.
tells him he thinks he'll be on the jury. Now, here's what I kind of got a little confused about, too. I thought he was saying, well, I won't vote for you. I would vote Dominic out. But then I thought,
Out. Yes, out.
yes. But later he said something like, well, but Dominic knows I would vote for him, so why
vote him out.
wouldn't he send me to the jury?
Right.
But
He would get rid of that
could have
threat to
meant
himself.
That he meant
That's you turning it around.
it could have been that he knew he would give Dominic knew he would give him a vote to win
This is you.
in the final tribal council, and that's why he wanted him on the jury.
Yes. Yep.
So it's like, well, what is he really saying there to Wendell?
That's an example of you outthinking yourself.
Well, you know what? It was kind of confusing.
I gathered
in
that.
all.
I gathered it. Yeah, I'm with
So
you. So he really threw Wendell off. You could tell Wendell got a little
he didn't know
cheesed
how
at
to
this
handle
point.
it, I don't think.
Whoa, his response was like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, he was frustrated.
He's
I think
like,
he was a
he's
bit angry.
blowing up our entire game. He's just blowing it up out of the blue. No reason.
Now,
I thought,
now
well,
Donathan
he's
did.
got some reason.
Donathan did explain. He said, "Look,
Mm-hmm.
my place in the game's not clear." And
I don't
that
understand
is on.
exactly what the truth bombs were, though. Those were what were confusing to me.
Well, they're not always.
Okay,
they're not
truth
always
bombs,
truthful, but
No,
yeah.
but still, they didn't seem to have the kind of effects that he was thinking in his mind. They just didn't come out that way, in my opinion.
If you were at all
Oy.
on the fence about his ability to play this game, I think this is the
Yeah.
defining episode to answer your questions there. There's a reason
Honey,
people
you're shaking the entire love seat. You're
there's
so adamant, and your hands are going.
there's a reason. Okay, is it throwing you off? There's a reason why he feels underestimated. It's because he deserves it.
Obviously, it doesn't matter. You can't quit.
I am talking
You're
with my
talking
hand.
with your hands.
Yes,
They can't see you.
Dominic but it comes across. It's like it's like in the passion of the voice and a good singer.
Passionate and adamant.
There you go. Yeah, and Dominic tells us he's going kamikaze. That's what we saw from the Next Time on Survivor before. Yep, he and Wendell are walking on the beach, and they're asking themselves, what happened to that quiet, nice kid that was telling us he would be cheering for us from the jury as we won, and hoped we had good answers to the jury questions.
From all the things I said about Donathan last week, I now think I might have overestimated
Yes. Well, you want
his gameplay a little bit.
You're in good company. There's a lot of folks that were thinking
So,
that too. Okay, we done? Move on.
We can move on to the immunity challenge.
Community challenge.
Retrieve the planks. There's 2 bundles of them, and
Build a bridge.
build a bridge.
Build a ladder.
Build a ladder and solve the puzzle.
the slide puzzle
I
that
hate
was there
slide puzzles.
on day one.
Hate them.
Okay,
I can't do slide puzzles.
you can.
I can't.
There's
No,
like
I can't.
2. I can't remember. It's 2 or 3 tricks you have to learn, and then you learn those, and you're good.
Yeah, well,
But the
don't
amount of
know the-
physicality required in this immunity challenge, combined with their depleted physical state,
mental state.
is also affecting the mental state, and that can just be a totally different effect, and that's what we get to see here. So,
Well, and Kellen fell off the bridge. So,
yeah, she fell off the ramp actually going up to the bridge.
yeah.
So they have to place one plank at a time, which means they can only bring one up, and they're not rectangles. They've been cut into different shapes on the end, so you have to get the right one to fit. And it looked like there was only one that could be the right one in some of the sections. So yeah, there's a lot of back and forth. It wasn't as simple as, hey, I got to lay down 10 planks and then run across. And it really caused Angela
Could not.
and Donathan even had just tons of trouble on the bridge. I
don't think Angela realized you could flip them around.
It didn't seem like it,
try it
right? We
the
saw her a
other
couple
way.
times where it just looked like she was only trying one.
She tried one way and then run back.
Run back. And Probst, and the other thing that makes you think that too is that Probst said that they were having a lot of trouble with only a few pieces left. And
Yeah,
that really shouldn't be happening that way.
I noticed they bleeped her mouth a few times.
Yeah.
So obviously it was very frustrating for her.
But it wasn't hard for Wendell and Sebastian. They got off to a good lead. They were side by side, and they finished
Well, Wendell got ahead of him in
just
pretty
barely
much everything.
barely in the bridge, though. Sebastian was really close in finishing the bridge, and then Wendell pulled ahead for sure on the ladder, and then Sebastian caught back up. What'd you think about Wendell telling Sebastian, giving him a little hint on the puzzle when they were both up there? Did you hear that?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, he looked over to Sebastian and said, remember to start with the top left there.
Why would he do that?
I guess he wanted to make sure certain people didn't win.
Is that true?
Yeah, you
Do you
start with the
start
top.
top
yeah.
left?
Yep. Yeah, you start with the top.
Well, why would he do that? Man, that makes no sense at all.
I just told you. You didn't hear me.
I did hear you. Still makes no sense at all.
If your primary concern is that Kellen does not win,
Yes,
and
I
Sebastian
know.
is clearly part of your alliance, having just sent him to Ghost Island to receive an advantage,
I agree.
then sure, it behooves you
Okay.
to help someone from your alliance.
I agree.
Okay.
You explained it well.
Okay. Well, maybe, and the other thing, it could have just been an erratic moment. So there's always potentially that,
Okay,
too.
it bugged me that Jeff's like, well, but this is the puzzle they did on day one. It's just a simple puzzle. And
why
I
did that
thought,
bug you?
why? Why? It wasn't simple on day one.
And it's going to be a lot less simple.
They had their
on
full capacity
35.
on day one.
Yeah.
And it wasn't simple on day one either, Jeff.
3x3s are fairly there.
Wasn't
There's some
simple.
complexity. That's okay. Moving on.
As memory serves, wasn't simple on day one.
Well, the time advantage that Wendell did have didn't really work in his favor. Laurel got up there, got started. Dominic got started, although I was thinking Probst was giving Dominic a little too much credit. He initially confused Dominic's ability to move pieces quickly with as someone who had a plan.
Yeah.
Really, he was just flipping things around, hoping they landed in the
And
right
Jeff,
place.
it's Wendell's challenge to lose.
Yeah.
And then Laura wins. So she's
Dominic
like, Jeff.
or Donathan and Kellen did get up there and get started, but Angela was still on the bridge.
But you know what? Even while Jeff was talking, when Wendell finally said, "Well, wait, I had it first."
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was obviously more discussion than what we saw because
Yeah.
Angela and them were over there still working the puzzle, just in case something.
Well,
Nobody
not
won,
only
I
that,
guess. I
if
don't
you
know.
listen to what Laurel says, she defensively replies to Wendell, but when Wendell's I don't know if we said that clearly or not. Wendell finished the puzzle first. He stepped back with his hands up, but he was looking down
Actually,
intently at the puzzle.
I don't agree that he finished the puzzle first. You don't finish the puzzle until you call Jeff.
Okay, well,
He was still checking the puzzle to see that he had everything in place.
all right, so that's semantics. You can say it that way, and that's fine. In any case,
Yes,
he
it
didn't
is.
announce that he was done, even though he had completed moving pieces to the point that the puzzle was solved.
Yeah, but then why even bother to say, well, but I finished first. I guess I just forgot to say, Jeff.
He realized that he was done before Laurel announced that she was done, and he felt initially, this is to your point, that there was something else that happened there in that exchange. Because you hear Laurel say, well, I was done before I stepped back too and called for you.
That's right,
to
but
that
she was
point.
double checking,
Yeah.
just like he was.
Yeah, and then Sebastian chimes in with, well, I heard Laurel, but I don't know. So I think there was some
He's like,
disagreement. I think
heard
Wendell
Laurel
flared
say
a little.
Jeff.
I think Wendell flared a little at first, and then he caught himself and said, you know what? I didn't do that
These
right.
are the rules. You're right.
And
So
I
they
need
must have
to-
read the rules.
Yeah, I need to own this one. And he did, even though he was really disappointed that he didn't end up getting that immunity that he didn't
I
need.
just thought it was really kind of weird that the whole thing kind of came up. So
You just described the editing of this whole season. there's these weird
gave
missing
us just enough to see
pieces.
there was something, but
Something wrong,
not
but we
enough
couldn't
to
tell you exactly how it
completely
happened.
understand.
Yeah. Okay, and we don't need to know everything, which
That's
is another
true,
thing
too.
that's going to come up.
Yeah, we'd have got bored, and then we would have complained.
No, I didn't
if they'd
mean
have
it that
spent
way.
too much time on it too. So that's just the way we are.
I wasn't going.
There you go.
Now you're making stuff up. Okay. So Kellen tells us Donathan came to her with a plan, and she is ready to engage that plan. And our big question as they went to commercial is, are we finally going to see some idols played at Tribal Council? It seems like things are going to happen. They're going to be popping off. I was expecting to see some idols get played. I was expecting that Donathan had sowed enough uncertainty that you would do it out of protection. Okay, so we're back at camp there on day 35 after the challenge.
And Kellen wants everybody to put their money where their mouth is.
Laurel says, Wendell was my target, but it just doesn't feel right now.
Yeah, it's just wrong because he finished first.
I'm going to stick with
No,
my
he didn't.
allies and take out Kellen.
That just felt like a cop-out, Laurel.
Is that a sheep? No, that's a goat. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a goat that was talking in Laurel's confessional.
I think she really struggles with the whole loyalty thing, and especially because they have done things to prove their loyalty to her. That it makes her a nice person, but it doesn't necessarily make her the cutthroat player she needs to be in order to win this game.
She's not playing to win. She hasn't been playing to win for quite a while
now.
Yeah, since the merge,
she still talks like she is, and she's going to do it.
Well, she wants
to
be.
She just doesn't pull the trigger.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like I'm beating a tired old drum at this point.
I know, but now I'm disappointed in both her and Donathan. Mm-hmm. The two Malolo that finally make it in the final 6. And I'm thinking, you guys, you're driving me nuts. What are you doing, Donathan? I'm not sure anybody would vote for him now.
Dominic and Laurel are having a discussion, and Donathan comes up, and he wants to know, what's your suggestion for who to vote for? And then he throws him into tailspin again. He said, but tell me if you're going to blindside me, okay? Which is contrary to the whole concept. But sure, buddy. Yeah, we're going to let you know. And it sets Dominic off again. It's like, this kid just baffles me. I don't know where he's coming from with this stuff.
Well, it's not like he and Wendell didn't say Kellen before Donathan. So it's not like they're not talking about getting rid of him. But and he's Sebastian does seem to be much easier going than Donathan right now. So I'm starting to think, why would you take Donathan? He's flip-flopping
way more trouble
all over the place
than he's worth, exactly.
And so I think they would have taken him, probably, but maybe not. Maybe they are closer to Sebastian anyway, and we just hadn't seen that. So,
well, I think we have seen indications of it.
Yes, we have, definitely this week.
A couple times.
And I don't blame Donathan for his reaction that, wow, they picked Sebastian to go to Ghost Island. So, anyway.
Let's come back to this episode here and where we are at this point.
Here's another thing I do not understand. Wendell says he's making a fake idol.
Okay.
Okay, Wendell has an idol. Dominic has an idol. Dominic has an advantage.
Which is
a fake idol.
Yeah.
So why does Wendell need any kind of parchment or paperwork or whatever from Dominic? Is he trying to use Dominic's fake idol paper stuff and to out it as a fake idol at Tribal, or
which doesn't make any sense?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. What's the purpose? And why wouldn't, if he just wants parchment paper, why not use his own that came around his idol?
His own tells exactly what it is in that big old necklace, so maybe since what he's made isn't obviously Eric's necklace, then it just wouldn't work.
They'd wonder why it was so huge. The parchment was so huge.
They'd wonder why it didn't look like Eric's necklace, or someone might remember what Eric's immunity necklace
that parchment was so big. Why couldn't he have just cut off a piece of that?
I'm with you though. It was very confusing. It's like,
I don't understand.
He's working on a fake idol, not exactly sure why, because we don't really get the motivation.
We don't get the full story. I understand how Donathan feels.
But Dominic says, you know what? I got something for you. I got you, fam. I got you covered. So I'll give you something that you can use with your fake idol. And then Donathan later observes Dominic extracting that from his bag and going over and placing the parchment into Wendell's bag. And then a conversation ensues that started with Donathan asking, what was all that? And saying that was weird.
The whole exchange was weird to me, because if they're willing to allow him to go over and look through the bag, number one, why not just tell him what you're doing if that's the case, you're going to let him go look? And why wouldn't Donathan just do it if he really wanted to know?
I think he's still hurt by the fact that he's not in the 4. And he's really, that's burned him, that he wasn't chosen. That's still eating at him a little, and he feels like he's alone. And even though he says he's proud to play his own game, it's not easy for him, obviously. So he's melting down a little bit under this pressure.
I think too, he doesn't know what he wants to do yet, so he's still trying not to burn all of his bridges and say, "Oh no, I believe you. I believe you."
To your point is spot on. He should have went over there. Wendell just offered to let him
go look.
Wendell just offered to let him look through. He didn't say his bag. He said my
Both
bags. Which I guess is
Whose bag did he take?
Maybe that's what we saw him sewing on earlier. I don't know if
Don't know.
when you see him sewing with the thread and working on something, I don't know if that was supposed to be the necklace or if that was him making a second bag. In any case, he just offered to let you go through the contents of his bag.
Yeah, so
and
shut
to
up
give
and go
you
do
information. Yeah, so
If
do
you
it.
really want to know, go look.
I don't think the big old necklace is in there. So
No, I don't
Wendell's
think it was
okay to
either.
some degree, and he's probably okay with Donathan seeing the idol that now has
But-
documentation to make it seem legitimate when it's not.
Obviously, whatever it was that Dominic put in Wendell's bag, it was still in there.
What
So
if
go look at it and then make them explain it.
what if they were going to use it on Donathan? What if Wendell just decided, you know what, come go through my bags. And then when he found it, he could say, look, I'll tell you what, you can have that. If it'll give you peace of mind, you can have my idol.
See?
He could have set him up.
You should have been out there.
I should play Survivor. I know.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could play better than a lot of these folks. Certainly better than Donathan.
Or so you think.
Yes.
I'm sure they did too before they went out there.
Oh, they all do.
Went 35
Yeah.
days and
Well,
their brains don't work anymore.
Sebastian, he's
Yeah.
pretty sure that he's in charge
The
of everything.
paranoia and
Yeah.
all of that.
Yep.
But anyway, it was all.
So
kind of
Donathan didn't take him
confusing.
up on it, and he's butthurt about the whole thing. And then after that all blows up and goes wrong,
Then he runs to Kellen
he runs to Kellen. Yes,
again.
the one person who's clearly on the outs. Yeah, so there's nothing confidence inspiring to his alliance about his activity and his
He
behavior.
wants to try to blow everything up. and
Yep.
Vote for Dominic, which I thought, dang, that could work. That has potential. They don't need. I thought Sebastian hinted that he would want to go after those two guys too, and I thought,
He didn't hint. He clearly stated
well,
it.
yeah, but that he might do it, you know,
Yeah.
now. And I thought that would be perfect because they don't even need Laurel.
Right. Because of the extra vote.
If they
you're
have
saying.
Sebastian, no, they don't need the extra vote. If they had Sebastian, Angela, Donathan, and Kellen, that's all they need. They don't even need Sebastian's extra vote. He can save it.
Okay. Yep.
And they could have still voted Dominic out because, he was so confident. They're not playing their idol. They could have sent him home.
Yeah, at this point, we're so unclear on what how people have managed their social game that it's why you're left wondering, well, why would Donathan think he could count on Angela? There's some things we saw in extra scenes, but we don't see him having those in-depth strategic discussions, and why would they think Sebastian would come along with them?
Well, here's the other thing that surprised me somewhat, is that I know Kellen had some friends, but, they said we're talking about how likable she was and how many friends, and we haven't viewed her necessarily that way.
Well, there's definitely some Malolo
So,
people who
there's-
wouldn't say that about her.
True. But there just seems to be so much this season that we are just clueless about.
Yeah.
We just don't
It's unnerving.
have enough
Unnerving.
information to really determine a lot of things about the people, because they're only letting us see what furthers the story, and so I think there's just a whole bunch of stuff we're not getting to. I mean, there always is.
Pretty clear on that.
That
Yep.
it really colors things. For me, either that or I'm just getting old and senile and I can't keep up. Whatever.
Okay, you're getting like Donathan throwing curves
It's like,
at the end
I
of your
don't know.
stories
Well,
now.
because I felt like I had a lot of curves thrown at me this week.
Okay.
That I just wasn't sure exactly what is happening.
And this episode didn't help any. Yep. Kellen tells us that Donathan's unpredictable, but she's on board if it's about getting Dominic out.
Okay, tribal council. Dominic says he couldn't even get a piece right in the slide puzzle.
He couldn't remember to get the piece in the top.
Yeah, and his brain just would not work.
I believe it.
And well, I thought Wendell looked a lot that way too. That I almost thought he looked a little confused and dehydrated after that challenge. That it might have really hit him. Yeah, he was pushing hard and he was in the lead and all of that, but I don't know, that just kind of made me feel like, dehydration or something had gotten to him and he wasn't thinking completely clear.
Well, he definitely seemed to confirm that in his response to Probst there at Tribal Council.
Yeah, and Dominic saying that was kind of a confirmation too, I think.
Yeah, Probst tells us that was a first, having someone challenge the win like that, but not be clear about it. And Wendell said, yeah, it took a toll on me for sure.
After Dominic said that at the beginning of Tribal Council, why was Kellen shaking her head?
I don't know.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't. I don't have anything to that effect.
She
so
was
I don't know
listening
the answer.
and she just kind of kept
Like she was shaking her head, no?
No, yeah. And I thought, what is happening?
I missed it. Sorry.
So, okay. Well, I didn't have an explanation, but I wondered why she was doing that. Okay.
Dominic tells us that Donathan got spooked earlier. Wendell explains it, at which point Donathan ends up saying that Wendell has an idol.
Yep.
So that part, I guess, plays into Wendell's plan to some degree with the fake idol.
Did it maybe... I
mean,
can't remember.
Donathan was saying it to try to blow up their game and, again, to continue to pit them against each other.
Didn't he imply that they both had idols?
At one point, yeah. Not right then. But,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Donathan tells him, why be secret? If we're in an alliance together, I need to know things. I need info. And I like this. There was an interesting 1-2 exchange during Tribal Council. Dominic turned to Donathan at that point and said, can I say something? And Donathan said no. But that's going to come back to...
Okay, that was a childish response.
Yeah, that's why I'm pretty sure he was acting out of hurt. He was...
I don't know. He seemed just... I don't know, very defensive and angry, and I just don't think that was a good plan.
It was interesting to watch all this happen in the next sequence there. So Probst asks Kellen a question, and she starts answering in her classic way, and the camera effectively tunes her out because the camera cuts away from her, and it cuts to Wendell, who's whispering to Sebastian, and then it cuts to Donathan, who's watching this exchange between them, and then you see Sebastian's eyes cut towards Donathan's because he knows that Donathan's watching them, and Dominic's in on it, and Donathan ends up cutting off Kellen. She's in the middle of saying one of her gut speeches or something there, her gushing gut.
And they all went, Donathan just started talking.
Yeah, it's not her, it's me. So
yeah, it's me tonight, Jeff.
You can see all
They're
that
whispering up
over
there. I can see it.
And
it's not Kellen. It's
to your point, he didn't actually say that they both had idols, but he said their pockets are loaded, which implied it.
Well,
Yes.
and that's after Dominic had said, let's stick to the hammock plan. And they all start doing their little whispering and all of that. And he's like, it's me.
Laurel tells us she had a strong plan A coming in, but there's B and C that she's going to have to consider, and that seemed to throw Wendell and Dominic a little bit too.
That was vague enough.
Yeah. Kellen tells us that a plan B and a C sounds great. I liked her big dogs and underdogs. I like that portion of what she said. I'm not keen on a lot of what she says, but I like that part tonight.
Yeah, and I like that Dominic threw it back to Donathan that, hey, you're the one that said no conversation.
Yeah, when he said,
Right?
I don't know what the hammock plan is. Yeah.
So I thought, okay, well, I'm sure he was just waiting to do that.
So we watched the episode, and then I ordered pizza right at the end, and it showed up. So we had pizza not too long after the episode was over. And what did we
watched
do?
it again.
We watched it again and enjoyed our pizza and wings while we were doing that. And it dawned on me the second time when we were watching Tribal Council that where Wendell says to Sebastian, hey, let's do a 3-2 split. And you can see some awareness in Kellen at that point. And I realized, she heard that. Not only did she hear that, she reasoned out who was going to get the 3, her, and who was going to get the 2, Donathan. And she's like, oh, okay, I can tie this up. Maybe that'll give me a chance. I think that's what's going on because she exclaimed something about tying it up at the end there.
Yeah, and she did. She threw her vote to Donathan.
So on the first votes, no idols played. You and I are a bit shocked. That tells you how much is being left out when we get at this point, and they're so confident
that they don't even consider playing.
It's not even,
not concerned
even
at all.
after we see the supposed uncertainty in Tribal Council. to the whole playing A, B, and C speech, but it wasn't enough to cause them to need to play an idol.
They can only play it up to Final Five, right?
Correct.
So they only got 2 more tribals that they can play it.
Yeah.
So, they have to play it pretty soon. I don't know how they could not.
So I think thanks to Kellen's vote, we get a tie. Donathan gets 3, Kellen gets 3. Dominic got 1, which was Donathan's vote. And so on that, they tie, so there's going to be a revote. Neither Kellen nor Donathan can vote this time, and the only people that the remaining folks can choose to vote for are Donathan and Kellen. Angela looked a little confused, but I think that's just because she was surprised at the tie. She didn't realize what Kellen had done. And Wendell didn't even have an answer for it at that point when Angela turned to Wendell, and Wendell's shaking his head like, I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I thought one of 2 things. Angela either thought Kellen was going home, and if she didn't, she was in trouble because she, was part of the vote. Or Angela had no clue that they were going to do that and send Kellen home. She thought, because she voted for Donathan, that maybe she thought, they might have thrown a vote Kellen's way, but that the vote was for Donathan. Mm-hmm. And then she realized, oh, shoot, because she voted for Donathan.
Gotcha.
The second time as well. Mm-hmm. She voted for Donathan both times. So I wasn't sure if she just wasn't clued in till then or what.
Yeah.
But so I wasn't sure about that.
They just sort of kept her out of the loop, I guess.
That was another question that I had.
Yeah. Okay, but on the revote, Donathan got 1, Kellen gets 3. Kellen is finally out, day 35.
And she was very gracious. It's truly been a pleasure. I wish you all the best from the bottom of my heart.
Yep. Donathan was looking really confused.
Yeah, he picked his bag up when Angela's vote for him came up and was read. He picked his bag up like, yep, I knew it was me.
Yeah, so he's definitely confused when Kellen's voted out.
He was so terribly paranoid. Okay.
Probst tells us 35 days down. We're down to 6, but it's far from over. So he took the easy way out. He just sort of stated the obvious and moved on.
And Dominic tells us if he makes a wrong decision, the game over.
You're talking about next time on Survivor. Then.
Next time on Survivor.
Okay.
Of course.
We didn't name next time on Survivor. That's all.
Oh.
Yep.
Well.
Yep. So there's 6 left. And
logical choice.
Yeah, there wasn't anything really significant shared in that.
Yeah, Sebastian says,
epic move.
Epic move. And Donathan says, wow.
Yeah.
So Sebastian and Donathan are going to make an epic move.
Now, why didn't they make it a little more suspenseful? They give you that blah stuff, and you're left thinking it's a predictable outcome. I guess
what are you talking about?
I guess the epic move, well, you want to give you a little more hope at some excitement. It just looks like a foregone conclusion. Wendell, Donathan. The only question is which one of them end up winning. Who's managed the jury votes better? I'm saying I didn't think it was a very good or effective teaser. That's all.
Okay, so Wendell tells us, I would like to reverse the curse. Do you think he's talking about his idol, or do you think he went to Ghost Island? Probst said one more trip to Ghost Island and got an advantage.
Even though there were at least 5 more yearns there.
Yearns. Yeah, you're throwing me off now. So, and Jeff tells us, of course, someone makes a $1 million decision. So I'm assuming that's to who's going with me for sure, and which 2 are going to have the fire challenge. Yeah.
Oh, which reminded me, there was a scene that I noticed when we were watching the second time of Angela starting the fire in the morning.
Good girl.
I wonder if that had any foreshadowing to it. That would be an interesting twist if she ended up there. Not that I think it's particularly relevant, but they did show her getting the fire going. She was blowing on it and getting it all stoked up. So maybe she does have some fire starting skills.
Well, they could still make a move next time because Sebastian has 2 votes, and Donathan and Angela, there's 4 votes. Mm-hmm. They could pick off one of those guys if they're not going to play their idol. They're both going to try to hold on to 5. and know that will take them into the
Well, those fake
four.
idols could totally diffuse that, huh?
Yeah, it
You
could.
like buy loyalty with those fake idols and keep that just to counter that. Not that you wouldn't necessarily know you were countering it, but just to help reduce the chance of surprises.
Yeah, I'll be really surprised if they pull off anything against Dominic or Wendell at this point. But it is possible.
Certainly technically possible. This group,
And you would-
Donathan, Laurel, Sebastian, Angela, don't give you any reason to believe that they're competent enough in the game to actually pull it off.
So do you think Laurel will try to get Dominic and Wendell to stay with Donathan to the final four? Or
No,
does
I don't
Laurel
think
not
so.
want to make fire with against? Who would she be better making fire against?
Angela.
Or would
Or
they take
Donathan.
her as a guarantee and make either?
Well, they
say
don't
if-
really take her.
Does Wendell make Dominic do fire, or does Dominic make Wendell do fire? If they win the challenge, that they get to decide who sits next to them, and so they might well not send Laurel and take the other bro. They might go, but gotta earn your spot. Here's where you earn it, because it's up to you now.
Right.
I'm giving you a chance, but it's time to cut your throat if I can. Oh Lord, and if Angela beat one of them.
That would be funny.
I don't want to say Sebastian in the finale. So
Well, who do you want to see? At this point,
well,
who do you want to win? Dominic or Wendell? Who do you think's played a better game?
They've both played a really good game. So I would be happy with either one of them.
Right.
Though I just
But if
don't
you
know
had
why
to
they couldn't win.
choose, you would choose.
I would probably choose. I don't know. I can't choose.
Okay. Yeah, I know you have trouble with these kind of questions.
They're really easy.
I would choose
maybe
Wendell.
So I like Dominic, but I don't know. Wendell just seems more easygoing, and I don't know. You'd think Dominic because he has children, et cetera, but Wendell could use it for his business, I guess.
So who do you choose between? Who's another unlikely choice? Somehow Wendell and Dominic don't end up in the finale.
I don't know
The last
that I would
tribal
even be
council.
happy if Laurel won.
No,
And she's my USB.
I know. I'm very
I
torn
was
about
thinking,
that. It's like I would be.
She has
One
5.
hand, I'm fine getting the extra points.
I'll
the
give
extra
her more
5,
than you
but
would give her, but still.
I'm so disappointed in her gameplay.
Well, and Donathan too after tonight. So
This is the Donathan that's always been there. That's what I believe.
well, and Angela hasn't played a bad game, so
She hadn't played a good game necessarily.
well, we don't know that because we hadn't seen that much of her.
This is the
Gameplay,
stage.
but-
This is one of those stages in the game where you have to acknowledge some people play to their potential, and their potential may not be what you wanted for them, but it's what they could muster at those different points in the game.
Okay.
So you have to acknowledge that.
Well, the only person that I really don't want to win, I'll go that route, is Sebastian.
He was so lucid at Ghost Island, though.
With
What a great little speech he gave.
for a second on the entire season.
You know who wouldn't vote for Sebastian on that jury?
I wouldn't give Sebastian the money because I think it would be destructive. I don't think he could handle it. I just don't. And because
So his
we know
family's
his
got a
family
coffee farm and a what else was
in
it?
Hawaii.
Pineapple
and
farm or something
I
like
can't
that?
help but think
How do
he
you know-
doesn't need the money.
How do you know that he doesn't already have more than that?
I know. That's what I mean, too.
So he might be managing it
We
great.
know enough of his, background to go, I don't give him more money. And that's mean. I'm being mean.
He
Slap
might
my
be
hand. Go ahead,
a
slap me.
philanthropist, and you don't know
Okay,
it.
thank you.
Project Remora, where he's been given to charities all his life from his a massive wealth that
I
his
give it
family's
to him if you give it
acquired.
all to charity.
Okay.
But I don't know. I just feel like Sebastian is too much of a free spirit, and that I don't know. I don't like to see someone. You and I have watched so many of these shows where people won the lottery and just completely destroyed their entire life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't know. I'm going to stop talking now.
But
I
he
make no
throws some
sense.
awesome parties on the beach, dude.
Okay.
Okay, so it's down to Dominic or Wendell. Pick your favorite. And there's some long shot others. Donathan completely shot his game in the foot at this point, and Laurel's the can't get it done girl, and Angela is recovering from a career that's just battered her all her life, and all kinds of other life decisions.
I'm sure Angela could use the money, and I'm okay having her rewarded for her service, and have things easier and put her kids through college and whatever. So I wouldn't have trouble with her winning.
They just haven't given us any story for her.
I just don't know that I can't see her winning because they haven't shown us her story, but just a small section.
I would say the edit favors Dominic and then Wendell, and then I don't know. It's really fuzzy between Laurel and Sebastian, and then Donathan has got a little underdog thing going, and Angela was all but invisible in this episode, which tells you everything you need to know about her potential.
Did she speak at all?
Yeah. I think she said Donathan when they were having the hammock discussion. She said one word.
Oh.
Said his name. Or it's Donathan then. She might have said a sentence, but it was barely that. Yeah.
Alrighty then.
How about a JSFL update?
I can do that. Brandon in Alabama is still in first place with 58 points. 37 people lost a USB. 75 people lost a safe point. Me and you.
Mm-hmm.
Me. 148 people earned a vote-off point. Congratulations.
Good on you. That's those people who've been saying Kellen was going every week. I know.
And I put her last week, and then I thought, I'm not doing that again. That's just, they're not going to get rid of her. Blah, blah, blah. And I had this whole big theory about Sebastian, which you kind of poo-pooed on my theory, but...
I did?
Yeah. You're like, oh, that ain't going to happen. I'm like, it could happen. And then this and this and that. And you... That I... Stuck with it anyway.
I don't know that I poo-pooed on it, but I may have said, well,
you didn't think
I don't see that as being likely. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was much more likely that Donathan was going to go. That's who I had going.
Yes,
and
you did.
I was happy with how things were trending as we went into tribal council.
I thought you were going to be right there.
For a moment, yeah.
So, but at least you had a chance going into tribal.
Yeah.
I had none.
Zero at that point, for
Sebastian's name had not even been brought up.
It was a big no on Project Remora.
My little theory. So, okay, as far as the side challengers, Jeremiah is still in first with 54 points. Brandon, James and Shannon, and Jay Kindred, 52 points. With 50 points, you have Cold Mike and Jonathan. 49, you have Randy and Stacy. 47, Parker. And 45, Kitty Cat.
Mm-hmm. So it's still really close there in the side challenge. And, of course, going into the finale, there's lots of opportunities for points, like we always say.
Big points.
Doesn't mean you'll get them, but the potential's there, the possibility's there to change your fate in the game, for sure.
50 available points in just the final four.
All right, we're looking forward to hearing what you thought about the penultimate episode before we head into the finale. There's still some talking, some plotting, some analysis, some predictions to be done. The voicemail number 206-350-1547. It sure is easy to make that call, right? Have several people done it. Maybe you're stuck in traffic, Rodney. You can get that call in, share your thoughts and predictions. You might even have a cool idea for how Kellen could have saved herself. It just did not happen quite the way he envisioned.
That's right. The
doesn't mean we
fans get it in.
Doesn't mean we didn't enjoy hearing all that. So, yeah, there's also a toll-free version, 844-643-8737. There's email, JoanneandStacyShow@gmail.com. You can record your own audio, send it as an attachment. Lots of folks do that. Ensures the best quality. Take advantage of the voicemail. It's super easy. Or you can write it up. Neither Joanne or I will read it into the listener feedback show on your behalf on Saturday. We need that feedback due noon Pacific time. Folks have been doing really great about getting their feedback in early. We appreciate that. And folks have been doing pretty good about keeping it in that 3-minute range, which really helps with the overall time to get things set up and then to get that recorded and get it produced and out to you on Saturday. Help you get over that hump as we wait for the finale on a week from tonight on Wednesday.
One more night.
Yep. Headed to it.
Wrap it up.
So it means we got a listener feedback show, and then we'll do recap the finale, the reunion, and then one final listener feedback show before we head out on summer hiatus. That's a lot of Survivor still to go, though.
That's true.
A lot of fun and enjoyment. We're looking forward to hearing what you thought and what you think's coming next.
Oh, final 6 order.
Anything else you want to add?
I don't believe so.
Good to go. Have a good one.